politics, impeachment, insurrection, and a nation divided. You know, I think it's safe to say, America, we've got issues. In the midst of a global pandemic, sporting events are allowed to thrive while the live music industry has been left behind. Hello, everyone. I'm Trevor Scott, and today we're discussing concerts and sports in the age of COVID. Joining me today is Matt Davidson to talk about the matter. Matt, thank you for joining me.
Thank you.
So my first question for you is, so as of recently, live music has moved online. Fans can buy the tickets to attend the shows digitally. Why can't we do the same for sports and have fans spectate online?
I think we can if we're doing live music online. I feel like with sports, because if sports teams like Kansas City and Tampa Bay Buccaneers want to make their money back that they lost during the year, I think that if they had fans virtually, I think they would make that money back.
I think there's definitely a lot of potential with having the sports online, especially when you consider like esports. That's constantly a growing scene. So I think there's definitely there's more potential right there. My next question: why aren't independent music venues receiving the same support as sports stadiums?
I feel like they're not receiving the same amount of money as sporting. What was the question again?
Why aren't independent music venues receiving the same support as sports stadiums?
I think because with sporting events, they draw more money. But I would argue, depending on what the band is, the Beatles, whatever some of the new bands are, I think if you had the right band, I think you could pull, more money than sporting events.
Absolutely. You get someone to make like Metallica or like Drake, like it's guaranteed to sell out.
Yeah.
Big music acts right there. But I was wondering, so what do you think stopping sports stadiums from hosting live music events in their off seasons?
I think the only thing that's stopping sports teams from holding music events in their stadiums are the owners that own teams, because if they don't want to earn money during the year, but if they're losing money, I feel like holding music events in their stadiums during the off season, you would make that money back easily. And then going to the next season, you'd still be going up with making money.
Absolutely. There's definitely some profit to be made by hosting live shows at the stadiums, and it's be especially easy to do it socially distanced.
Yeah.
When do you think we'll see a return of live music events?
I feel like we'll see a return of live music events when this pandemic and a majority of the people are vaccinated. So if that's this upcoming year, or 2021, but if that's, say, the end of 2021, that'd be perfect.
Thank you. So, when we come back, Super Bowl Sunday with a super crowd. Will it be a super spreader? We'll tackle that question and more on God Issues.
I think there's a lot of things that attract athletes to OCC. I think facilities may be one thing that maybe gets them interested. I think once they come to campus, they really get a sense of what we're about. And we're about supporting the whole student athlete. So we take the approach that we want to see each student grow as a person, as a student, and athletically. And so I think students come here in that way to grow, to continue to develop. That's why students choose OCC.
Welcome back. Trevor Scott here again. I'm with Matt Davidson, and we've been talking about concerts and sports in the age of COVID. Let's continue. So, Matt, do you think that it's fair that the Super Bowl let 25,000 fans attend the event in the middle of a pandemic? And if this is okay, what's stopping concerts from happening?
I don't think it was fair that the Super Bowl was held with fans, because live music arenas weren't able to hold music acts. So it's kind of like if the Super Bowl, if the music venues can't hold live acts or live music, I don't think the Super Bowl should have any fans.
Absolutely, I agree with you there. But had the roles been reversed, where concerts were allowed and sporting events weren't, do you think the response from fans would be the same, or would they be more upset?
I think they'd be more upset, because if I understand that more about the same probably listen to music and go to concerts. But I think the people that watch football or any sport, I feel like would be really outraged, because if that can happen, I feel like then they would want sports to happen within reason.
Absolutely, and I feel could go past like the major scale, because look at something like high school sports. You know,
Yeah.
kids, it's really important to them, but at the same time, you know, some people feel the same way about concerts.
Yep.
Do you believe that there's a bias towards sports?
Definitely, because I know that the Dome holds live music events, and they hold sports, but I feel, what was the question again?
The question
I'm
was,
blanking.
do you think that there's a bias towards
Yes.
sports?
Yes, there definitely is a bias towards sports, and I feel like it's solely based on money, because the people that will argue for sports will say that they bring in more money than concert venues, but the people that like concert venues would say the exact opposite. So it could go both ways.
See, I definitely see the point there, where sports are a big moneymaker, but like we said earlier, I feel like concerts could certainly pull in the same amount, just depending on the act, you know? Why do you think sports have remained operational during the pandemic while concerts have not?
I think because like football, I don't know for a fact, but I would say because most of the football stadiums are outside and they start in September, so it's like 80 degrees, where concert venues are inside for the most part, but there are some outdoors. But because during that time we really didn't know about social distancing and doing that in a safe way, so I feel like that some of the stadiums you could socially distance and have 22,000.
Absolutely. When you look at venues like the amphitheater, and it's definitely doable.
Yeah.
It's all outdoors, socially distanced, you know. I'd like to thank my guest, Matt Davidson, and I hope you've enjoyed watching. We may not have resolved anything today, but without the ability to talk freely about the things that concern us, there's little chance of us moving forward. I'm Trevor Scott. That's Scott Issues.